Y'all, back at it. AEW Light the Fuse. AEW Dynamite review here. Twitch.tv/Conspiracy Horseman. Just waiting for El Sexico to do the run-in, but I figured I'd get it jumped off because we got a full day here at Hamin Media Group, as always, infidels. Because it's time to figure it out. When people living in doubt, brother, look no further. Take care of each other. Stressing over the bout. If you need me, then give a shout, my sister. Look no further. You're the preserver, and you know who it is. It's Hacker Hamin. Might be MSG, and I'm sure Silvio will be here in a minute. But it's the AEW Dynamite Light the Fuse review. Yalla. Calm down. Calm down. Hey, calm down. I couldn't see for a minute. I got excited. I thought it was Jenna Van Muscles dressed as you doing the run-in, but then I saw the goatee, and I was like, what? It's just him. But he looks beautiful today. I just did the intro, a little Skip Marley, calm down, to keep it calm, man, because tensions are high, not just in the wrestling world, but all over the world with the macho madness that's going down in the fake media. But I was looking forward to seeing this guy because he always calms me down, the yin to my yang as we hang and bang. It's El Sexico. It's him, Chris Silvio. You guys get the hot new merch. Yalla. How you doing, buddy?
Fantastic. I'll take that little hot tizag and come in here hot, lighting some fuses around these parts. It's been an interesting week, man, as you said. We had some action last night on Dynamite. I just finished, to talk about the craziness of the world, I just finished that Bob Woodward book, Rage, detailing the Trump. Have you heard that one? Detailing the Trump.
I haven't read it, but I've heard of it. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's pretty much details Trump's first 4 years in office and how he dealt with the pandemic and everything. So it was a hell of a read. He got his balls busted because, like, I'd say in January or February, he was on record saying, like, this is a super dangerous catastrophe on our hands, and then goes in the media and tells people, no, it's all right. So he got some heat for that. But we got debates tonight, too. So, yeah, man.
Yeah, we doing a watch along right here, twitch.tv/Conspiracy Horseman. I will maybe it's a smoke along and drink along, who knows, whatever. Run what you brung at this point, man, because it's going to be an embarrassment for humanity at the end of the day. So hopefully we can keep them calm down, do a little Mystery Science Theater 3000 to it, and the real heads are here at Hamin Media Group and Russo brand. Silvio Seminar Superstars always tuning in, getting the best knowledge, and obviously the Stevie Richards Fitness morning inspiration show has been doing great things in a time of Koyaanisqatsi, which is did you like that? But yeah, Buckshot Kid, appreciate you being one of the first in the chat room. Dude, since I talked to you last night, I went to bed for 4 hours. I got up and have been on air nonstop since. So I have not got to watch Talking Shop Full Keg yet. I apologize. I will do my best to fit it into my schedule this weekend, but every hour of my life is accounted for from now until 7 p.m. tomorrow. So, and Talking Shop, watching the Good Brothers Steel Master Shoot Theater and put it on there is not at the top of my priority list while I have a lot of things going on all the time. But I'm calming down, man. Calm down.
You know what you need, man? You need some of those B12 shots we got going around here in Florida.
Jesus Christ, bro.
Give you some energy, give you a little bit more of a pump ski,
I'm on the Cellular Core C4 and eating salads. I have had a couple oatmeal cookies, I'm not going to lie. But, maybe I do, but there's no shows for me to work. So I just be getting jacked for no reason whatsoever. I'm putting in my work, man, the hard way, the Hamin way, the way we always do it.
Hey, speaking of Florida, have you covered on the locker room WWE's latest debacle?
Well, no, we just scratched the surface of the triple threat of, Full Sail, the Amway Center and NXT all getting their balls busted. Now we also have Yin Yang twin, Andrew Yang on Jericho's show because he wants the big mark shine that way. And now he knows that there's a way to hurt them from the progressive or Democratic side where Vince is lined up with Trump. Of course, they're going to use their influence to make a phone call to have people go down there and do their job of being a regulator, a state regulator, just to be a prick. It's not just because of the good of the welfare. Don't get it wrong. There's definitely politics going on behind the scene with AEW back in Yang, using that weaponized to because they know he's a mark and he probably wants a Jericho autograph or whatever. And at the same time, has the power to make a phone call to shine some light into some dark places where you don't want it after an $18.5 million payoff to be deemed an essential business so you don't go out. And I'm going to just keep going. The Jake Hager thing with Stephanie plays right into that with the layoffs, and he comes over the top and scoffs at her little corporate toe the line while 300 people lost their jobs. So please, Sil, take it all, man.
Yeah, so evidently Orlando is in Orange County, and Florida is still a hot spot, as is New York, and they're isolating, I think they said 17 businesses that they feel might be hot spots within the area, and all three of WWE's locations being one of them, Amway, Full Sail, and the PC. The statement WWE released, their corporate jargon, it was a pretty good statement. Basically, they said they've done 10,000 tests, and only 1.5% have been positive, as opposed to the national average of 5%. I don't know what they meant by that, if it was national work average or just national average period. So I'm not quite sure.
At this point, that we're skewing numbers every day to fit every argument. So what's it really matter? It's a little chess game back and forth.
Yeah, and the interesting part was that they said anyone that tests positive is a mandated quarantine, 14 days, blah, blah, blah. And that may be the case with some of the talent. However, I do know for a fact that when this most recent COVID outbreak happened at WWE, I hope I don't get heat on myself for this, but I'm just being honest. They did not notify any of the extra talent that there was these outbreaks, and they claimed on that statement they were also tracing it to figure out who had it and how to keep people safe. So they probably used 20 extras, none of them knowing any idea of what was happening. They're limiting extras now, due to backlash. But so the statement is a little bit misleading. It might be right for the signed talents, but what about all the other people? Like, I could have gotten it, and it could have been prevented due to them, but they didn't tell anyone.
I'm shocked that they didn't have non-contract throwaway talent in their minds, best interest in mind. That shocks me compared to everything else they've ever done. The old man's a germaphobe. He doesn't believe in any of this, and I got to say on this one, I might side with him. But he would not wear a jacket on purpose in February in New York to be fuck you to nature, try and get me sick. You can't cough around him, you can't sneeze around him. So what do you think is, if you're talking about trickle down policy, if it starts on high and no one's going to take it, it's all lip service PR with payola back and forth. And now we're getting into like real fucking behind the scenes politics and using, whatever health organizations in Florida based upon political pressure to go out there and do something they're going to jump to too. That's just how it is, man. So yeah, that's a crazy thing. One thing that I don't know, Stevie big brother me this morning. I needed to get pulled back because I absolutely loved the segment, even though it was 60 to 70% of what could have been if I was there to tune it up in technical rehearsals. But the musical theater thing, I don't know how many times I've laid that out in the last 3 months for Raw and for whoever else. Okay. There's number 18. I've stooged off many times about the origins of Retribution without saying anything coming out of Hamin Media Group to not hurt anybody, and that's fucked over. That's 17. Here's 18, and then here comes 19 with, you can rewind the tape last week with this guy saying Steve-O, we're talking Tony Hawk, Pro Skater, and here it is. Now, the coincidence of us just being good creatives and all being on the same page is very high. However, we're at number 19 now still, and it just got to me a little bit of like, I love this shit so much. I love the wrestle crap, the crossover. WWE can now never do the musical on Raw. They have to actually do a Broadway musical. That's the only thing they can come back to do to counter this, which could still be amazing. But AEW has set up the Matt Hardy level world of now we can come back to a musical scene every 3 to 6 months until we build till next year when we have AEW, the musical, all the way around. And then the Steve-O stuff, It's just getting to the point. It's not about stealing or creative or I'm influencing or whatever. You and I are grind dogs, one of the few students of the game who are still in a level of the unknown, not known from not being made guys. And I had that big conversation with Stevie, and that's not always a bad place to be. And the taking ownership and not having to kowtow and bow to somebody to play the game. But I'm at my level in my life where I'm going to get the job and either have it for 10 years because they're going to fucking be buddies with me, or I'm going to get fired day 2 because I ain't changing who the fuck I am, because what I do works and is getting stolen and bastardized on TV. What you do, not you, Sil, but what they do don't work out of the gate. So who's got the medicine now? Are we going to still play fucking big egos over the fucking what needs to be the true fix and the true vaccine for what's wrong in wrestling? But here we are, you and I, face to face, a couple of silver spoons. Not paid again, not put in the positions of power to really pull the performances and craft the creative of the things we're already crafting, that ends up getting fucked up and people getting fucked over, and it never comes out the way it should. It just gets thrown into a blender and chopped up into something that's unrecognizable. And I have a strong back and I can carry that, but today it wore thin on me. When I know that's a 6-figure contract easily, maybe mid to upper, close to 7. If you're talking about swapping me out with Bruce, I mean, come on, like, or you or whoever in NXT, like that's the level of investment you need to make for the quality to change. Why wouldn't you do it? Instead, we are where we are, and I'm very happy to be here talking with one of my best friends on the AEW Dynamite Light the Fuse review, but how much can a motherfucker take, you know?
It's a casualty, man. We all know what it's like, and wrestling, we tend to mimic each other and stuff like that. Everybody listens to the show. They know that I train wrestlers, mentor wrestlers. What they may not know is in my camp, I do a lot of coaching and character and promo development with some upper level talents that we see on national TV. And I'm trying to continue to build that relationship. What I do on the show is I'll give open suggestions, open ideas, stuff like that, simply for the fact that I've been a fan of AEW since day one. You and I have had probably 100 arguments over it. And I sincerely would just like to help the company. So like, let's say it's okay. It could be coincidence. Cool. But let's say they heard something that I said and they're like, you know what? He's right. Let's use that. I think it's kind of flattering. And as long as it helps the company get better, I'm cool with that. I think I could be very valuable in a creative position, not trying to do a takeover or step on people's toes, just to be another idea man that has some pretty good ideas.
Sure.
And maybe help tighten up some bolts that other people may not see, just because I have a very good trained eye for it. So I'm always down to collaborate and help however I can. So whether you guys are or aren't listening to it, I dig the show, and I'm down to help in any way you can. You guys had a hell of a year, so if I can contribute to that a little bit, fuck yeah, I'm all for it.
There's definitely a lot that needs to be fixed on this show this week, man. Unfortunately, there's just I loved the fucking music. I'm a musical theater kid and a nerd for it. Like, that's just in my wheelhouse, something I'd been thinking of for the last decade, and they did a great job with it. Both of those guys did. And it was excellent. I definitely would have liked to tighten up their tap dancing. I feel like I could have fucking really helped with some of the spots there. Their Charleston needs a little work. We need to Jericho's knees are rough. I get it. But come on, guys. But aside from that, it was beautiful wrestle crap. And I absolutely loved it. And I love the Darby Allin Jackass roll-in thing too. It was fucking, and to be honest with you, we'll get through the show, but Moxley and Kingston, absolutely brilliant as well. And then the wrestling in every segment was almost all wrong in every segment. Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And
you over there nitpicking Charleston. Since when did you become the leading expert on Charlestons?
I started tap dancing when I was 5 years old. Did you know that?
No, you never told me that. Yeah. Oh God, we gotta fucking see that. I don't mean right now because it might be difficult to see on camera.
Yeah, dude. And then from age 12 until age 19, I did every musical that you could possibly do, Rodgers and Hammerstein, multiple times. And then I found improv in college and got away from it and never went back to musicals. But I've been performing on stage nonstop, all this shit. That's exactly what I did. What they did last night, I did from age 12 to 20, pretty much.
I'd love to see those taps. Teach me and Maddie B at Charleston, and maybe we'll do our own Light the Fuse.
One going to them. All right, I like it.
It'll be called "You Guys Are Totally Fucked."
Concussion, the musical. I like it.
By the way, something in the show we'll get to later. There was a real scary moment that was a little difficult to watch.
Oh yes, that's what's blowing up the net right now, and unfortunately, kind of overshadowing the brilliance of the MJF and Jericho performance. But big effort by all last night, no doubt about it. Good promo. All the character work was great. All the wrestling was. What else is in the news? Man, sorry, I'm just a little bit off my game from there.
It's all good, man. I haven't been on social media other than like Messenger to communicate with some students of mine. What's the deal with is it getting backlash, the Lucha Brothers match?
I don't think that's getting backlash. No. Why?
Okay. What's getting the backlash? Was it Hardy?
Get knocked out the fuck out, bro, in that match. The ref didn't check on him. He's laying there. Pepper drags him over. He can't even lift his arm. Pepper lifts his arm, tags himself in to keep going with the match. And they start going with the match over here, and Homeboy's just laying there dead. His partner's not there to pull him out. Butcher didn't pull him out and be like, what's going on? I was in the last indie show I did for Immortal. GGP was on, Sean Carr, and Punjabi Lion. All three of those guys should have contracts, by the way. They're all fucking phenomenal, in great shape, and are 15-year vets who can fucking deliver. And if nobody signs them, they should all be in MLW right now or NWA, all three of those guys. Sean
GGP Carr is doing Primetime Live, and it's been a pretty damn good show.
Yeah, but, I mean, they should be full-timers. Those guys are fucking great. So I'm managed with GGP, Horseman style. Carr takes a fucking bump in the stiff corner of the ring. He fucking rolls out. He's on the ground. I see the birdies going around his fucking head. Now I'm managing whatever. He goes, I think I'm knocked out. I go, holy fuck, Carr. I can see he didn't know where he was. I go, stay right here, buddy. I fucking give them the Iggy to the ref and to Sideburns. I go, fucking Carr's knocked out. You guys got to pull time, grab a hold. GGP's like, what? I go, grab a fucking hold. Carr's knocked out. He goes, okay. They go over, whoop, wop, whoop, snap mare, throw it on. I'm getting with Carr. I go, take some time, buddy. Get over. He starts going over to the fucking railing to bring himself up so they can come out and work heat on him. And like he finally gets, I go, you know where you are? And I go, you know what day? He's like, yeah, man, yeah. So he starts to get back in. I fucking throw him in, and just so I go, he's fucked up. Don't hit him with nothing, so he can be there. Finally, he comes back and we get it done. These guys fucking left him there the whole time, laying there out cold, just so he can get up to sell to go into the finish on some pre-planned bullshit to fucking throw a shitty clothesline, get kicked in the stomach, go to the corner, whoop, wop, whoop, switch, and they're not even involved with it. Are we that bad of workers that we can't see the fucking guys knocked out and switch and just go into the finish another way and call it? My God, dude. Like, they fucking, and right on the heels of the Matt Hardy knockout. Shouldn't we have a protocol and the ref isn't even looking at him? Dude, when Pepper picks this guy's fucking arm up and it's fucking, you're doing the fucking, and there's no Hogan, the arm drop. I'm like, holy shit, bro. They are married to, you do this, we do that. Ooh, come back, duck one, side kick up. Oh, that guy's knocked out. Fuck it. Side one. Like, wow, bro. Wow.
We'll get into this as we go on the show, and I know you've been talking about things like this for a while, as have I. But speaking from experience, again, I just have to say, right now, what we need more than anything is people to protect wrestlers from themselves, because the guys will insist. I'm sure you've been hurt in a match and you kept going. I probably had at least 100 matches that I got hurt in some capacity, whether it be concussion or anything else, and finished the match. It's a badge of honor we wear, instilled from the old school days, that you get through it, you work through the pain, you finish the match. And that hasn't dissipated despite the advancements in medicine that we've made. So there has to be people that save us from ourselves. If I had somebody that saved me from myself, maybe I'd be in different shoes today. Maybe I'd be fucking working with Darby Allin on Dynamite. I don't know. Maybe I'd be in fucking Singapore selling cocaine. Who knows? But we need people saving us from us.
I agree with that. Won't horror modes myself, but I tried to save you a couple times before we did, and I agree with you 100%. And that's guys thinking that this is a video game, like that you're just gonna fucking hit restart and be ready to go, and they're young and they're just want to please. But dude, that is unacceptable completely. Poor dude, man. I feel bad for him, man. He's fuck.
You got any rye over there?
Do I got any rye? Yeah. Wow. You need to drink some?
It's a couple drinks before we get started. Let's talk some Dynamite. Fuck it. I got a little rum here.
You're drinking rum? I gotta drive to go meet a client. I can't. I would have a shot.
I wish I could drink rum.
Anytime I hear rum, it just makes me want to go back to Jamaica and chill, which is really what I need to do as a week in Jamaica, to be honest with you. What's that, buddy?
That sounds divine.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a first round match to kick off the show this week. Had quite a few first round matches. We saw our boy Wardlow, in action for the first time in a while on Dynamite.
Yeah, looked like a fucking dude. You couldn't ask for a more perfect guy to like come out, open your show. Like if somebody's changing the channel and that's it right there, man, he looked fucking awesome last night, dude.
Mm-hmm. He damn sure did. And JR commented, athletic big men sell tickets, and I think he's right about that.
Yeah.
We had him against Jungle Jack Perry, who's gotten yet another opportunity on the single stage to prove himself. What do you think of this encounter, this opening match?
Dude, Jungle Jack is the Disco Inferno of AEW. Not a comedy gimmick and shit, but the most matches on TV, ring time. I don't think anybody has had more TV time than Jurassic Park and Jungle Boy as singles, dude. Like that, right. Regardless of whatever, like you want to talk match, like if you're just talking about put a kid on TV, he's had more TV time, I think, maybe even more than Jericho, to be honest with you. Jericho and him are probably 1 and 2.
Yeah. I'd buy that.
Yeah. I mean, regardless of how you felt like about Disco and WCO, jobber, like whatever the time. I did too, but like it's the fact of like, guess who's on TV every fucking week, regardless of what the point is, regardless of what your spot is, you're on TV every week. It's phony. You don't got to be the champ. And I'd rather be on TV every week than the champ and work once every 3 weeks and not have to fucking and do all this crazy shit when he can be on TV every week doing this, making a fucking payday, man. Forget about it.
Disco gets some heat, and he says some stupid shit sometimes, but I think Disco's a fantastic worker.
Oh, me too. His punches are awesome. Even when he comes back as a nostalgia act and Impact, he outshines everywhere. That's the problem with putting a guy from his era who still got a body. Like if you brought in Lance Storm, he would embarrass that entire roster, bro, because he would expose how fucking truly green they are. And when Disco's in the ring, even doing comedy, it's almost a liability to have Impact to have him on there because he's fucking just that much better, and it's natural. You can just see the difference in where wrestling was and where it is. But here's my problem, and I'm going to fast forward because we got to talk about these one and the same. This was a complete idiotic match. Like, how are we having this match, and then we're going to have the rebirth of the cleaner Kenny Omega in a baby versus Sonny Kiss. Kenny's the one who pushes a lot of the bisexual stuff, and now they shake hands. V-trigger fucking wing clipper, whatever the fuck it is, and then boom, 1, 2, 3. Instead, in the first match, we have Wardlow making Jungle Boy when Wardlow looks like he'll fucking rip your head off your shoulders and untwist your head like a peanut butter jar. Like the whole thing should have been reversed. Wardlow should have fucking done that pizza throw F10 or whatever the fuck 2 times on Jungle Boy. 1 hand pin on the motherfucker, 1, 2, 3, and then Kenny Omega should have made Sonny Kiss in the tournament and pulled the time and fucking got their shit in and made it look sexy and gotten just a clean win. Nothing fucking big impact knockout. You just shook the motherfucker's hand and now you're gonna knock him out. Like they took the wrong psychology of a big man squash to get him over and put it on the fucking athletic guy who can pull some time. They did it completely backwards in both of those segments. So right there, I'll show you my notes. Why? What the fuck? What the fuck? I put on almost every segment for these decisions. How? With Tully, I'll say it again. With Tully Blanchard, Arn Anderson, Jake Roberts, JR, Dean Malenko, Billy Gunn, is that getting on TV like that? How? How with Cody? How? With Sean Spears? How? No, there is no excuse. It's completely wrong and backwards, dude.
Did you take your blood pressure medicine this morning?
Calm down.
All right, so
calm down.
I sit somewhere in the middle of the field with you on that. There are some points I agree on, other points I have different opinions. So as far as the match itself, Jungle Boy versus Wardlow, we did see Wardlow go over after 2 F10s, 1 on the ramp and then 1 giant one in the ring. So I'm watching the match, and what I appreciated about it was that Wardlow didn't bump till the comeback. And he did a really good job of staying on his feet. I kept looking for the bump. And it came on Jungle Boy doing a swinging DDT, which was followed up by a really cool Rana spot off the top, and then a back cracker, and Jungle Boy then jumped on his chest with his knees. So Wardlow took 3 bumps in the match. What I would change about that is I would have cut out the DDT and had the 1 big bump come off of that Rana if he was going to do it, and I think it would have meant more as a near fall. I have to side with you to a degree. So I'd say maybe a few minutes into the match, Wardlow did a gut wrench power bomb, a doctor bomb, and I look over to Jenna, I go, man, I hope this is the finish. And he kicked out. And she asked me why. I was like, just because nobody expected it to be. And I think in a match like this, it would be cool if he just kind of steamrolled over Jungle Boy.
Should have.
However, when I saw what happened later, I was cool with it because I was like, okay, well, there goes my squash, because I think the tournament should have stuff like that. It should have the quick knockout. It should have the long match.
Put on the right guy, not the fucking opposite match. And here's the other part and I don't put it on Jungle Boy or Wardlow because they may be too young to know this and don't have the training that we do. I don't know where they come from. I know, obviously, Jungle Boy's scenario, but Wardlow, I don't know his background. Wardlow's a heel. Jungle Boy's a baby. Wardlow out wrestles Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy slaps Wardlow across the face. What are we doing? What are we doing? If you guys don't know, I know Sil knows. That's why I say it to him like that. The heel does not out wrestle the baby, because the baby needs to out wrestle the heel. So the heel needs to strike because he's frustrated because the baby is a better wrestler than him and out quicking him and out doing whatever. So that's up to the heel to strike. Now, a baby can strike back later in the match when it's retribution after all the heat that he's worked on him. He can fire up and strike back. Instead, Wardlow out wrestles Jungle Boy, and Jungle Boy slaps Wardlow in the face. It's like they know it. They watch wrestling and they know what they're supposed to do, but they don't know why or who or where they are in the psychology of what's going on. Like that. That's what opened this contest. And then the way they finished it, I was pumped, but I go, the finish should have been the first 30 seconds, and that's all she wrote. And then when Kenny did his thing, my brain just leaked out of my ear, and I didn't have nothing left at that point, dude.
It was a hell of a finish, that fucking F10. I don't think I've ever seen anyone thrown like that.
Dude, that's some straight up sky in the air like friggin' pizza dough, Mamma Mia shit, bro. That shit is unbelievable.
Sick. Did you see that power bomb bump Jungle Boy took into the ring post outside? That had to be fucking rough.
That had to suck big time, bro. Big time.
Jungle Boy, I would advise against doing that bump much more. Maybe on a huge pay-per-view.
That's how I separated my shoulder the first 2 times, like a fucking moron.
Taking power bomb into the post?
No. Just into the post, fucking getting shoot reversed, bang, right? And like I couldn't imagine taking and there's a lot more padding on this big fat fucking body than there is on that little skinny one. That's steel to bone. That's where these guys are thinking they're video games and it's just going to be restart, bro. Wait till they fucking do that shit wrong because they got away with it this time and the motherfucker is in a wheelchair with a broken back.
I hope not.
I hope not either, but from what I've seen in the rest of this show, it sure is leading that way.
So I'm high on Wardlow. I think he's money in the bank. Jungle Boy, I know, is a budding star. Like I would love to write for the Jungle Boy and write his redemption story. It'd be so good. I enjoyed the match.
I think the girls flirting with him story is a way like better thing. Like the girls all just love him, and somebody's jealous of him, you know, because of how good looking he is, and he's Luke Perry's kid, and all that. Like you could get him over in funny little cute sketches backstage, and just have fucking Dino gimmick tagging along with him, bro. You know, and having the fucking outline that would be funny. Power bomb him into the goddamn. Come on, Sil.
The only outside of that bump, really the only thing I would say I kind of hope they could have done a little different. Wardlow kind of tried to match Jungle's pace a little bit, and his body's so much bigger, he moves slower and isn't necessarily used to moving that fast. It caught him waiting around a few times. So I think maybe he should have, if they were going to pull time like they did, I think maybe he should have had more his style match, slowed the pace down, and had Jungle Boy do some out-quicking shit to get ahead, striking and moving kind of thing, because he tried to match pace a few times. But, but otherwise, I thought it was pretty solid, man.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
And then, so from there, we saw
in post show. Oh, it's the post show that they did after last week when they went off the air. I kind of like that. Like last week, what you missed when we went off the air, that's good stuff. Like let them go and come back and let them just flow and improvise. The arena's empty. Let them just freestyle. Let him go play his instrument like the fucking Louis Armstrong jazz musician that he is when it comes to that shit, you know? And if we get something gold, that's great to put in next week. And there's a couple of wrestling phony things when we hold a guy up and you open your eyes and I'm turned sideways to get the camera shot. That's just working for TV. I mean, that's the way it is. I don't know. Sometimes after I see their produced stuff, I'm like, we just got to do it sometimes. That's just the way it is, no doubt. Yeah. But yeah, I thought this was good to let somebody know right in the beginning of the show, especially when we're going in the storyline with these guys. Here's what happened even in between, which AEW does huge plot point turns on AEW Dark that nobody even knows about. So I got to give them a double check mark plus on that for doing that on this show. That's, like I said, if we got a laundry list of weaknesses, let's pick two and work on them this week. And that one, it seemed like they did. A plot point that would usually remain on Dark made it into our show, and it did make a difference.
There you heard it, ladies and gentlemen. 1:57 p.m., October the 22nd, 2020. Hamin gave a double check mark to AEW.
Yeah, check.
What do you think about this, bro? What if they were to reverse the order and they opened the show with like kind of an urgent, hey, check out what you missed last week. And we see the Eddie promo, then right into the Wardlow's entrance coming out ripped and jacked.
I think it would have worked either way, and I don't think you're losing value on either, because you can make the argument we want to make Wardlow, and the first thing through the gate is an impressive motherfucker. I was there with it, and then when the Eddie thing came on top on the end of it, I didn't feel like, oh, that should have been. They fucked up. That should have been. It worked that way, but if they would have opened with it, that would have been. And here's why I think Bischoff is fucking his big brother now. I think Bischoff is definitely TNT, because they would have done that on Nitro. Here's what we went off the air with, and it's the NWO beaten, and it's the fucking whatever, and then we come back to that. So we know NWO is going to be in the house tonight, and we're going to get this match, and you're hooked based off of remembering what we saw last week. So they absolutely could have, but I think because they didn't overplay their hand is to keep Bischoff more kayfabe.
I wonder if we'll have Virgil in there mixing it up anytime soon.
I would. Why wouldn't you make a fucking joke? You know, that's their opportunity to do wrestle crap and do generational stuff like that. I absolutely would. Even
Virgil
if you
on TV, bro, would be gold.
even if you, what I would do is fucking have everybody on the other side of the ring and just have him on the other part of the arena by himself. Like everybody's standing on one side, so he's lonely Virgil, and he's got a whole side of the ring to himself.
What if when Cody turns heel, he fires Double A and he hires Virgil back as Vincent?
I think it's funny to talk about, but I don't think that would draw. Maybe for one week.
Would, but
maybe for 1 week. Maybe for 1 week it would.
All right, but we did have a fire John Moxley promo after this. What'd you think of that video package with Moxley?
Great, dude. I gotta put it over. We've seen good Mox promos before. This was Moxley's best promo, in my opinion. You know, the improv training we've done, when I say you get lost in the scene, you tell the truth about yourself, you ground the scene. And these were all his truths. These are all my truths of how I've been effed over, my relationship with them. I'm not going to make an apology. You're not going to, because you didn't come along. Eddie Kingston also has a truth. We were CZW scumbags together, unknown. And when one of us made it, the other one was gonna. Well, you made it, and I got left behind to work in UPW with Hamin and Rochester. Like, you know, like that. Not, and you made it. You were a millionaire and met your wife. I'm fucking over here scrapping with my dog still. Those are real truths. That's not something that you need to write. All you got to do is say the real thing, and it plays so much more high level. It totally elevates what this feud really is, and Moxley is fucking really starting to come into his own in the James Dean. This is my voice, not just what WWE could have had this if they would have let their performers go and be who they are instead of trying to micromanage them. And Vince McMahon just doesn't know how to do cool. He knows how to do heel. He knows how to make a baby off of a heel, but he's even tried to do that type of shit with The Rock and make The Rock uncool and come out and say all of these things that were cliche. And The Rock kind of was like, sure. And then went out and did his own thing and got over as that. It's just not in WWE, I think. And it's to be able to know how to let a guy like that be himself. And right here, we captured that magic in a bottle. No doubt about it.
Moxley is next level. I've been digging his promos over the last few months, and he is perfect. He's the perfect mix between who he is, John at home, and the Moxley character on TV. I can't give away all my trade secrets for free on air, unfortunately, won't. But I've been teaching some similar things to some of my online clients about the best ways to interject their personality into their promo so people believe the words you're saying. Why you love that promo and the Eddie promo and why I loved it is because we felt it, and the viewers watching, they could tell that the performers meant what they said. The biggest problem with promos in 2020 wrestling is when we hear the majority of them, the performers don't believe the words they are saying, so we can't fully digest it. But that wasn't a problem here. I fucking John Moxley is near the top of my list for promos, and I see why they keep the belt on him, and he's fucking delivering. Yeah.
I agree completely. He is a working man's cool champ without being the working man blue collar guy. He's not out there stunting and trying to be this, that, or the other. And the other promos leading up to this have had good choices in background, whether it's on the steps or out by the graffiti, and it's been a big stage picture, and I like that. And the work of the monologues has delivered alongside and stepped it up. But here we had a one shot 12 inches away from his face, and it's about the words and the emotion in slow play. To be real is not the easiest thing to do, and they were all truths. And when you see that as the audience, it's undeniable, and that's what we got out of these performances. So bravo.
I have a question for you, and this isn't a critique. This is me just open questioning. So when they announced it would be an I Quit match, it caused me to consider the meaning behind that. And I like doing gimmick matches as well. I don't do them every time, like if I'm writing a show, but I appreciate gimmick matches. It seems like they went, yes, this is now a very heated rivalry, but it went from a standard TV match to now in their next encounter, it's I Quit, which is like the final chapter. We saw something similar with Cody and Brody, where a 4-minute match then led to a dog collar match. So I'll ask you, like, are you okay with this gimmick match in particular? Is AEW doing too many gimmick matches? Or there too many stipulations?
Oh, with Kingston and
well, let's talk about Kingston and Moxley first. Are you okay with that one? And in general, do you think AEW is doing too many stipulation and gimmick matches?
People are shitting on things like the Mimosa match and the big arena match, but dude, we're in the middle of COVID with no fans. You got to come up with funny fucking circus things. I get it. And there's good and bad arguments on both sides. And I don't think they've really missed in some of the wrestling. Like, how am I supposed to break down? You're power bombing a guy 5 feet from an orange juice thing you're supposed to put him in, but I'm going to power bomb him over here. Like, now we're just arguing ridiculous things, like that. But that's the way it goes. When it comes to Moxley and Kingston, though, I know Kingston's working his ass off on trying to get in shape, right? Until he is, you kind of have to cover that, because if you just have him do a straight wrestling match, then that makes it look like Moxley can't beat a guy who's sloppier than him in the physicality. When you add the weapons as the equalizer and a guy does look sloppy, he looks more like a street fighter dude you're going to get into a fight with at a bar, who is, eating pizza and sucking down 6-packs and rooting on the Bills, and that's fine. But all the muscle in the world don't mean shit when you get hit in the head with a fucking garbage can. That's what the fans see. So I think using a stipulation here, or some type of gimmick match, helps cover Kingston's inability as a, body guy or what have you. And also goes back to their early days of CZW and shit against each other. So in this match, it pays it forward in the overall arcing thing. I think if we got one gimmick match on a show, then that's all there really should be, right?
Yeah, I agree with that. And I'm okay with this I Quit match, and I'm actually excited for it. What I would consider doing if I were one of the minds that helped make this show run is just a legit, sincere talking and meeting of the minds, to talk about things like gimmick matches. How many should we be having? Have we seen too much, too little? The only thing I worry about is potentially hot-shotting things. There was a territory run by the Fullers, Continental, I believe is what it was called. And their father had promoted shows prior to the Fullers and the Fuller brothers. And one of his recipes for success, he made a shit ton of money. He would go into a town and he would hotshot it and do incredible business for 3 months, close shop when it started to wane, and go to the next town and do the same. So he made a fortune by doing that, but they saw that there was a short life to it. I want to see AEW around for the long haul. So that's just why, I think these are some discussions. I'm not saying anything's wrong with what they're doing. Mm-hmm. I just think those are some discussions that should be had to figure out longevity.
We've seen Dog Collar. We've seen I Quit. We've seen Champagne. We've seen Stadium Arenas. We saw Big Barbed Wire Fuck Off. Whatever Matt and, Spanish God were doing.
Dennis match, street fight.
Yeah, there's been a lot. You're right. That's a conversation worth having.
And I'm not saying it's too much. It might be just right.
Right. I don't feel that it's too. I'm not feeling it that it's too much. And I mean, you bringing it up is a valid discussion to have. But right now, it seems like they've done it on the gimmick for the right guys to help enhance their gimmick in a time of COVID or their debuts. So if there is too much, they are using it the right way. If there's egregious ones, it's like Cody wanting to do a dog collar. Like that could have probably been cut.
Gotcha.
So.
All right. Well, next up, we had my second favorite match on the card, and your least favorite, apparently. We had Omega debuting as Semi the Cleaner versus Sonny Kiss. I expected him to come out in full cleaner garb. I was a little disappointed that he didn't, but it was a cool touch having the cheerleaders doing the sweep with the broom and maybe new music, I think.
Yeah, I like the look. It was cool with the drop of the, whatever that is, cloth that they had painted of it. Then the girls were sexy with the brooms, no doubt. But then JR gets it in. And he's like, kind of a rebranding, a new coming out party for Kenny Omega. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, last week we just saw him telling a guy to suck him off on AEW Dark. So why are we doing sexy Kenny Omega with two hot girls as the dancing girls? If you really wanted to push the bisexual stuff, that seems to be pretty out in the open at this point. And if JR's ribbing on it on the fucking commentary while he's making his entrance, should have had one sexy guy and one sexy girl. You want to talk about fucking making some headlines?
The same thing.
Some headlines, And he comes out and kisses the girl and kisses the guy. Fuck it. And then he beats Sonny Kiss clean. Then I wouldn't have had a problem with it. Now we're doing business. Instead, the handshake with Sonny Kiss, I'm like, all right, this is probably a hire that Omega pushed for with their woke agenda to play to their base, and it's smart. And then you just fucking hit Sonny Kiss. The way he won over him is not a fucking Ring of Honor handshake way to knock somebody the fuck out and go over strong. You know what I mean? Especially when you're doing that type of woke thing in between where we have all that backstory, dude. Can Omega get a quick win over somebody? Sure, but that was a big man squash. That's Wardlow's entire thing he should have done. And the exact amount of time that Wardlow pulled with Jungle Boy would have been the perfect amount of good wrestling time, back and forth gotcha, to make Sonny Kiss look like a legit credible wrestler who has effeminate styles. Instead, he looked like a gay dude who can get beat because he's not as strong as fucking as this guy in athletic, dude. I was like, how are we missing this, you guys? How? It's like they looked at the sheet and somebody had dyslexia and switched the two matches, but kept the times and the finish the same. Like Bing up over strong, two things, and the other guy make your guy and fucking you're still up. Like if we would have switched the psychology of those two matches, this show could have been brilliant.
Maybe I can persuade you a little bit. So here's why I enjoyed it. I loved the surprise of it, and I wanted a knockout finish in the tournament, and I got it quick. So the reason why that, along with why I was okay with it, is when I saw the match advertised that Sonny Kiss was in it, I go, wait a minute, I didn't know Sonny was in the tournament. And why is Sonny in the tournament? I don't recall Sonny winning to be on a world title level. Like, why would they put them in? Then they talked about how Janela is out, so Sonny stepped in, which another question to me was, why was Janela in? Because he hasn't been winning much either. So I think that's exactly what Omega needed to do. Sonny isn't established as a credible winner yet. Sonny could be if they continue to push and Sonny develops, but that's what should have happened. Sonny is right now on the lower card of the show against one of the biggest guys and maybe even the guy that's going to win the tournament. So I think that one unfolded exactly like it should have.
I couldn't disagree more, buddy. I love you to death, but they had the chance to push the SJW thing. They had a chance to push the equality thing, the rebrand. How are you going to do suck me off on fucking AEW Dark and then come out and do that type of shit and then do a Ring of Honor handshake, which means baby match. Baby is not big strikes and devastating finishers. It's fucking wrestling, no strikes, and fucking outquicking your opponent till you finally catch something, and then boom, out of nowhere, roll up, what have you, a small package into that. And then Sonny can be like, fuck, I got elevated, but thank you for so much for the match. And raise the hands at the end, and fucking Kenny's going to be the guy. That's how you elevate Sonny Kiss. Now you just fucking beat him, made him look like a piece of fucking trash, and anybody should be able to fucking annihilate Sonny Kiss very easily. If he would have pulled 4 or 5 minutes, let him go back and forth, and then Omega out of nowhere catches something, then we would have made somebody. Instead, we did no business there. None. No.
I could see to your point work, like I wouldn't have minded seeing that. Did you notice the little kind of awkward hug at the end of that match?
Yeah, but
Omega went to hug Sonny, and Sonny kind of did like a weird arm movement, like didn't really seem to be feeling the hug. I don't know if that was working.
But like, why would you even like, hey, I just knocked you out. Hug me.
Yeah, it seems a little odd.
Hug me. I knocked you out. What the fuck?
You haven't mentioned this. I thought you would. Did you catch the ribbing on Kenny Omega's entrance?
Where they said it was his coming out party?
No. So he had this long intro by Justin Roberts where they listed PWI Wrestler of the Year, champion of this, champion of that. And they listed off all these things, and the last of it was, he once wrestled in North Carolina. Ladies and gentlemen, Kenny Omega.
I think that might have got caught because I watched a chopped version on Watch Wrestling LA. That's funny.
They got it in. And you're right, there was a lot of sexy talk on the show, and not just in this match.
Yeah. Yeah.
And JR, if you're listening, you're probably my favorite commentator ever. You got to stop saying getting it on. It has a complete different connotation now than it used to. All these two guys about to get in there like two big muscleheads. He's like, these guys are about to get it on after we do like the sexy talk with Omega.
That's back at the hotel afterwards. Let's see.
We get a Orange Cassidy backstage.
Orange Cassidy, yeah. Orange Cassidy talking, you know. I didn't mind it a ton. I guess it's him and Shivani and what did I write? JR buried him too. He buried him hard. They do their little back and forth. Orange Cassidy actually talks, whatever, you win some, you lose some. They just don't go that way and show that he doesn't give a fuck. JR goes, well, there's a captivating tone. Mm-hmm. Buried. I go, hashtag buried, bro. JR's just saying, he goes, this shit is not going to get over. I don't know what to tell you. He's trying to tell you the most grandfatherly fucking rib way possible. Well, there's a captivating tone. Next. I don't know, man.
I don't know either. It had a little bit of an odd structure. What I kind of questioned about, like after Orange was kind of messing with the TV, I was like, what's he doing? Why is he touching the TV? Like, it just, I don't know how much sense it made.
Not playing to their strengths right there, bro. Orange Cassidy, we said the game of what it is. Orange Cassidy should be in a closet. He should be hanging. He shouldn't. It's Orange Cassidy interview time, right? Like, it should be somebody else's interview time, and the fucking door closes. Like, the guy storms out and fucking closes the door, and the interviewer's there, but behind the door the whole time, Orange Cassidy was standing in that little space where the door meets the wall, and that's where he just hangs out. And fucking they come over to get a comment or something, and he poses things out. Yeah. And that's it. It's all about the reveal of Orange Cassidy. It's Orange Cassidy's time to talk here, you guys. Like, we're not playing out the game of what he should be at all. And that's why what JR can go, instead of, hey, where's Waldo? There's Orange Cassidy. You could have his own Where's Orange Cassidy books if he fucking wanted to, bro.
And then I know it was done in a tongue-in-cheek way because, I'm under the impression Jericho likes Cassidy, but we had another Cassidy burial later on in the show when MJF and Jericho did the multiple joke. Like, much chance of getting over is Orange Cassidy.
It's got to be something going on, right?
Could be.
Could be blowback from the boss loving and fanboying from him so much, and now the boy's been sitting back to fucking see. Give you enough rope to hang yourself.
Who knows? But we get more Orange. We get more Orange in our next segment as we have Cody stepping out of his limo with Arn, being interviewed to address the match. Coming up next week with Cassidy.
Yeah, put over. Yeah, Arn, happy to be back in the limo.
Mm-hmm. Looking good.
Then we got Penta and Phoenix, right?
No, before that we got a fucking amazing promo. My God.
I marked out huge before he said word one because he's got the Carmelo Anthony Syracuse throwback on. So put that over. But that's just him trying to get a spot at 2CW. And I already ruined the 2CW December show. So nice try, pal, but it's not happening. But he had me marking out for him with it. And it was more of the same. I'm sure Moxley was off camera and goes, you give the same promo I just gave, but give it for yourself. And then he sat down and gave his telling the truth promo exactly like Moxley did. And then at the very end, he did the beautiful thing that shows why he has a master's degree in this shit. He did the gear shift to take it back to wrestling with the big wink thing. So we're doing truth. This is really me, my story. And now here's a little Eddie Kingston wrestling character on top of it in my very last line. So we're not plot and predicated with, I got to get my character over and do this and be all coy when I say things. And if I don't do that, then nope. It was very real, very straightforward and honest. And even when he was out with JR, talking about the dude he stabbed in the face with the goddamn pen, Jerry goes, my Lord. It just fucking goes back to like he was completely put off by it, and but this was phenomenal work from Kingston and Moxley on the same page, telling the same promo in their own way.
I can't say enough words about how high level of a promo this was.
Yeah.
It was one of those ones where you feel it inside of you as the viewer, and I can appreciate it as an artist, like how good it was. And his facials at the end of the promo when he brought it all home. And I often say when you bring something up and we're talking about an angle that may or may not make sense, I always say, I'm going to wait and see where they go with it and see what happens. I'm like a broken record on the show. I probably said that 1,000 times. When Eddie first started doing the wink thing and corralling the guys together, we had some questions like, what's he doing? Where's this going? Last night, he perfectly explained that. I had to become a snake. I had to become a liar. I had to become this and that because that was the only way to survive. You were over there doing this and you left me behind. It was all very real. And part of that, you know, he probably did have a little bit of envy towards Moxley that they started with the same place and Mox is up here and their skill sets aren't all that much different. You know, who wouldn't? But I just thought the way he put it together was, I won't say this often, but I think he even blew Moxley away with that promo last night.
I think he outdid him too, and he should have, because Moxley's not known for that. What he's doing right now is making Moxley comfortable because they're boys from so long ago, and that Moxley can raise his game to Kingston's level. He hasn't had anybody challenge him to have to raise his game. So Moxley is coming up, but Kingston should always be stronger, in my opinion, because that's his main weapon. You wouldn't want to out-promo Kingston. That's not doing things the right way. If you know you're working him, you want to set him up to shine and get real heat. So your whole thing is to fucking have a Molotov cocktail that's not lit yet, and he's the fucking lighter to go off on it, bro, because then, boom, we want that explosion at the end from him. So I'm going to try and do everything I can to make him shine in his promo. And a lot of guys will do that for me too. Because once the bell rings, you're fucked. You ain't getting nothing from me. You know, you better like the promo. And that's kind of the same thing with Kingston too. You're not going, oh, I can't wait to see Eddie Kingston wrestle this fucking match. This is going to be a 5-star banger. It's all the lead up in the show before the payoff. He knows it. I know it. I'm going to fucking try and make my wrestling better while I rely on my fucking entertainment skills. And that's where his money is, dude.
And Shivani knows it too. As soon as the promo ended, Shivani saying, now I want to see this match.
Yeah, now I want to see it. Yeah, that was a great sell. Bravo. This was probably the two best pieces of character monologue work on AEW history so far.
I agree. And then we had a match that I was really looking forward to. I thought it had potential to be match of the year. We had the Lucha Brothers, Rey Fenix versus Penta OM. 1-on-1 in the first round of the tournament. Let's hear it.
Phenomenal. Probably the best wrestlers on the planet. You could argue. Like I'm never doing anything these fucking guys do. That's awesome. The arm break is awesome. All that shit when they do it. I don't know if you knew this or not, but they're brothers.
Are they? But they were just Lucha brothers. No. Well, I mean, if they're Lucha Bros or what have you, like they're still brothers on a tag team. If it's me versus Ali or Ali versus Omar or you versus the Kamikaze Kid or versus Fang, you wouldn't be opening up with chops on them. You wouldn't be striking your brother and your tag team partner. Again, we should have had straight wrestling lucha style to get up to the point where we're doing the what's the fucking Spanish Fly gimmick, right? The high point of the match. We get an arm break, we get chops, we get strikes. These are all heel things. You would not do that to your brother who you love in a tournament where there's no heel. If you're Brett versus Owen, and this is for who's the better brother that's been going on since age 8 and age 6, that's a fucking different story. This is a tournament match to get over. You fucking wrestle. You're the luchas on the show. You don't do chops. You don't try and break your brother's arm because you know what? You're going to have to tag with him next week. So why would I break my fucking brother's arm? Why? I just keep writing why, what the fuck, why? And then Phoenix gets KO'd in the match doing some crazy shit. So he's concussed. Now we got to take it home on some even more nutty shit because we got to stick to the plan. Dude, this show had all the right wrestling matches, all the wrong psychology in almost every one of them. So I think you had a few of your organization was a little off. You said the things that happened, but the order I think was a little off.
Right. I'm just thinking of the big spot. When I see guys working vicious heat on each other, that should be payoff heat in a big feud, and they're just working it like it's normal. Right. Instead, when they're on the same team, I'll get it scrambled in my notes when I'm reading it back, but fucking I know what I'm seeing there. Sure. And, like that shouldn't even be in your match. You should not be striking him. You should not be trying to break your tag partner's arm because you're in a tournament match that has no heat.
We had some strikes pretty early on. They did some lucha stuff to start. Then I'd say maybe around the 4 or 5 minute mark, they got into that chop spot. Mm-hmm. I wasn't a big fan of that particular chop spot. They looked like they hurt. They looked good, but I wanted to see them do some more wrestling. I'll side with you a bit on that. One thing that kind of dampened my spirits a little bit at the beginning of the match, the first thing Excalibur said.
Go right by this. If they want to do the chops, let me ask you this. What if fucking one of them was going to initiate and fucking say it's Penta, or, he comes at him to chop and fucking Phoenix ducks and we take that minute and Phoenix goes, "What the fuck, bro? Why are you trying to chop me?" And then fucking, and Penta goes, "Oh, sorry, that way, whatever." And then Phoenix gets one in on him quick, or Penta, so we could start into it. I wouldn't have that much of a problem with it. Well, if we're just doing Japanese wrong style to do it without that kind of storytelling of we're baby, and you try to take advantage of me and now time out, let's hold the fuck on. Is that really what you want to do here, bro? Hey, bro, it's for the fucking title shot. I'm just trying to win. Okay, motherfucker, it's on then now. You know what I mean? And really take that 30 seconds to tell that. Then I'm off to the races. And because JR and them are going to go, "Oh, these guys are partners, but they fucking look at now. You throw a title shot in the mix, that'll fucking divide anybody up." You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. We're not getting any of that storytelling in there, dude. And that people want to say, "Oh, Khan wrote this in 8 minutes," or whatever. Khan doesn't know anything about this when it comes to the wrestling. He's giving them the matches. This is these guys carte blanche to do it. And how do the best workers in the world not know what the fuck to do at this point?
So I'll agree with you. I would have liked the chops better, like you stated with the story. Yeah. One thing that took some of the wind out of my sails, right when the match started, Excalibur gets into this line about how these guys have wrestled so many times. They've been wrestling each other since they were children. They used to go around the territory together. So kind of right off the bat, he was, without meaning to, kind of telling the audience this match wasn't as special as it seems because it's happened many times. Mm-hmm. And I think he was doing that to appease a very small portion of the smart audience. They may have wrestled once in AEW, but I'm not certain of that. If so, they've wrestled each other no more than twice, including last night. That's the route I would have went. I would have said,
"Look, watch it 100 times. They're fucking brilliant."
Right. But the route I would have went is say, "Look, it's brother versus brother. We've only seen these guys here on AEW one other time or no other times if I'm wrong. This is a big deal. They're a tag team." Instead, we kind of open by saying this is something that you've seen a bunch of times, that they've done a bunch of times, so it means a little bit less. So I didn't really like when they threw that in the commentary. Okay. Now, going to the match, Phoenix, who's insane, one of the best going, did that damn
jumping around the ring even before the match started, like tiptoeing and fucking ding dong doom. And I was like, get the fuck out of here, dude. Mm-hmm. Come on, man. Holy shit. Go ahead. Sorry.
I think he was a tap dancer too, bro.
It might have been. Tightrope walking tap dancer as far as I'm concerned. Holy shit.
So Phoenix does a version of the Hector Garza corkscrew splash to the outside. But I swear he probably rotated like a 640, 720, something like that. I've never seen anybody twirl around that many times in the air. Beautiful dive. Then he tries to do his rope walking gimmick and gets cut off by Penta and takes a sick bump on the ropes. So they were doing some cool shit. Then I got taken out of the match, unfortunately. Phoenix went to do his head scissor off of the top rope where they're standing on the top, and Phoenix kind of twists in and uses his feet to throw Penta off in like a superplex kind of motion. Mm-hmm. Ray landed very high on the neck and the back of his head, and it was a scary moment. You could tell Penta was concerned. You could tell Aubrey was concerned, and you could tell Ray Phoenix wasn't quite right. And I was thinking, what the fuck's going to happen now? And on commentary, one of the announcers said, Aubrey's checking on him. She's consulting with Doc Samson. They're checking on him. Now, I don't know how much is live, so I don't know if they cut the tape, if the doc actually came in and checked on him and then deemed him okay for whatever reason, and then they went, or if the doc never came in. But it was a very scary situation, and I'll go on record as saying, at minimum, if they didn't, at minimum, they should have had the doctor come in and check on him.
Absolutely, but even later on, we didn't have the ref even know a guy's knocked out in the match, man. And again, Aubrey overselling, like selling chops. Like we gotta have a couple meetings, big meetings. Are we booking too many fucking gimmick matches? Referees, we need to really. You need to be ninjas in there. It's not about you.
Yeah. And I could tell, something wasn't right. Phoenix wasn't right for a good minute and a half on air. And once they got to the finish, now I understood why they didn't go home, because they had to get Ray over to fight Kenny Omega, presumably in the next round. And when I saw Pentagon after this spot happened, Penta put him in a dragon sleeper position and proceeded to do like a Canadian destroyer kind of DDT. I thought Penta was just attaching a hold so he could figure out what's going on. Ray was out of it, looking sloppy for a few. Then he got his second win. He did that big Spanish fly, some other stuff, ends up winning with the destroyer. But I know that had to hurt, and I got to think he got a concussion.
Why are you taking flip bumps onto the apron?
That's what they do. But after that thing happened, I don't think it's the time for any kind of real flip bumps.
They do. That's what they do.
That's what they do.
Not for much longer. I guarantee you that.
So had that not happened, I think I would have really enjoyed the match, but you get Ray Phoenix over.
I was pumped. Yeah, Ray Phoenix up. I was pumped for that match until they're just beating the shit out of each other and psychology goes out the window. Then we get Cabana versus Hangman. This match is kind of weird and slow because we had good momentum going and they really slowed it down here for some weird reason. Cabana's in the best shape I've ever seen him.
Looks great.
Just in phenomenal shape. No side baby fat or nothing. And Chicago brick shit, how strong. Like, you know what I mean? I mean, you've worked with him. He's not like he's stiff or anything. He's just big to move around. He's fucking got that huge like bathtub upper body. It feels like he's moving. But he looked good. And man, they go to the outside. I don't like outside heat in tournament matches. Your whole thing is to pin the guy, you know what I mean? And why you can't pin him on the outside, especially when you're trying to get the win. If you chased him out there, that's one thing, but they were fighting out there on purpose. And then Hangman takes the bump, and dude, Colt fucking killed him with the splash.
What a bump, right? And the splash.
The bump was bad, and then he fucking killed him with that too. Like, have you ever had the wind knocked out of you when you were a kid? That feeling, dude. I bet he had it for sure, man. Because Colt wasn't. I mean, you're landing on the ground, so there's no way for the ring to flex under you. It's just the mat. Again, here's another video game spot that we thought would be good, but that was a bad idea. Never splash me again on the ground on the outside. Oh, and I probably hurt my knees too while I was giving it to you. So ribs on me, right? They probably both got hurt rough on that one, dude. I would not want to take that from me or Cabana ever on the fucking ground.
Colt's no small man either.
No.
Would you take that from me? Would you let me frog splash?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, if your head's 100%, chances are what I would do is have you go to do the frog splash and I'd try and catch you, roll through if I needed to. I just wouldn't lay there to fucking take all that impact. We're doing big man, little man stuff. I got to put over my size.
If I ever wrestle again, I'm going to request a match with you where I frog splash you or lay prone on the apron.
You can take it. I'll take it from you. Whatever. You're going to get your elbow shit in anyway. So
I thought it was solid. I like this match. I really like Cabana. I really like Hangman Page. The big bump was dangerous, but it looked great. And then the splash looked great. I like the storytelling with the Dark Order and that. Is he in? Is he out?
Hangman's also big at the end, though, to go into the finish. They worked all that heat on him. He was fucked over selling it awesome. And then he was fucking knocked out and dead. 10 seconds later, he's up doing the fucking flip lariat into the ring, bro. You just got fucking killed Frogger style in the middle of the street, bro. It was bad. And then wrestling's fake. We got to take it home.
Maybe just a regular lariat could have gotten it done.
Maybe this time. Be honest with you, you would have, if there was false count anywhere, you would have beat me on the splash on the outside. But,
that's right.
Yeah. The fuck, flip bump on the apron, shoot splash on the floor. Wow. 10 seconds later, straight up and at it stage. What the fuck? Hangman up. But this is the good long-term business. I mean, you can say tournament, call it whatever, but here's what's good about this. We know where it's going. We know it's going to be Hangman versus Omega in the finals. And this goes back to all of, like, this is the longest running storyline that we have in AEW right now. Even if it seems like a tournament, it really is about the origin of their tag team being put together and split up. So we are doing long-term multiple layer business. So I got to put that over too, even though this match was kind of weird to me.
Or they're going to thwart us because we all think it's going Hangman and Kenny.
Fucking better be Hangman. Dude, just do the right business. If you're listening, Stu, just do the simple and right business. It's Hangman versus Omega. Omega up. Go forward.
There you go. You heard it from Hamin. After this, we had, I thought, a really good Team Taz promo.
Yeah.
And I'm really digging Ricky Starks lately, man. I think the guy's got so much potential.
Yeah, I thought he was just going to sit there and be, you know, that jacked shortstop looking kind of dude. He had a lot of nervous energy early on, little things that you would have saw in promo class, hands flicking, clenching, and he did the side arm cross. I'm wounded, grab your elbow. And then he flicked it out with his hands while Brian Cage was talking because he knew his time was coming. And then he fucking ripped it. And he was good, man, when he had the mic. Just a couple small things as a younger performer that we can smooth and iron that out. Taz killed it on the mic. Brian Cage said just enough for what he had to do, and Ricky Starks took it home with good heat. This was a good little segment right here. I thought it was
really good. I want to see when Starks is wrapped up with Darby. I want to see Starks get in there with Seidel and get to be in there with the veteran that knows that junior heavyweight style like arguably nobody else. I could just see those two having some phenomenal matches. And Matt's ready to go, man. I see him in the gym every week. Matt is moving and is in as good of shape as he's been in fucking years. Matt's ready to go. I think him and Ricky could do some great business.
Well, B12 will get you. No, shout out Matt Seidel, man. Fucking one of the best guys in the business we know. There's no doubt about it. Seidel Dojo in Florida, you guys. You want a great place to train and great minds to work with. Silvio's there. He's there. I know Ascension hangs out there. You never know who's going to stop in, and you're only going to gain knowledge. It's a very cool little dojo too. Looks like you're in some sci-fi film prison inside there, man. So fun place to shoot promos and shit too, I'm sure.
And one of our talent just got the call this week. So I encourage people to show up, man. Not only do we teach you, do I make sure you know how to wrestle and work and know your character, but we have a great track record of people getting opportunities on major.
Well, that's what it's about. Is you're paying for not just that, but to be 1 degree of separation in contact wise, because they're always in contact. We all are, so if you're an aspiring wrestler, you want to go someplace, to learn solid fundamentals in your craft, but also to have the opportunity to be able to get noticed and go get a job, unless you're just a weekend warrior for the shit. Well, that's fine too. Yeah. Then we come up on, the segment of all segments, bro. The dinner, what was it? Demure?
Dinner Demure, something like that.
At first we're kind of in between two ferns, in the set, and a cross between two ferns and the gynecologist set at WWE for Mike Bennett and Maria Canales within the back. But once I knew we were going into that, I knew we were going to get the Muppets open the curtain and drop back and, the Carol Burnett type style of stuff. And they were absolutely brilliant. We have a game of one-upsmanship, just really playing into the Rodgers and Hammerstein era of musicals. and really getting the, not just the jokes, but we're in a musical joke and we both need to come up with it. Like, you know, the overacting was perfect. The one-upsmanship with the steak starting at, well done, and then going all the way down to blue. And then we go into the scene. The song was written wonderfully to get over. If you go back and listen, every line is a good little shot and whatnot. I can't wait to listen to it again. The girls in the back, dancing girls, did a great job. I wonder if Rebel did the choreography for them. I was wondering, I mean, if I had a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader, that's who I'd put on it. You know what I mean? And with the Kenny Omega girls as well. So I was wondering, are those girls Jacksonville Jaguar cheerleaders?
I think so.
And the Omega girls maybe too.
I think so. They're certainly not extras.
But then I was like, well, if they were, I was thinking that, like, then their here's some theater nerd shit. Then their cane work and their time steps should have been more on. Granted, they might have learned it that afternoon, so it's not like it's the most rehearsed thing, but like it just looked wonderful. The ballroom stuff and them together, even when they stop and they come back to do the encore with the happy feet, Jericho. That's where I wanted my tap dance and shit in. And they bring it back in beautiful harmony, and right back into the scene. Closes, the stakes arrive. We're going to have to send these back. They agree. Both turn, waitress, and boom, off we go. After they had the Velma fucking thing.
They did a callback to the Thelma joke where they both called her by the wrong name at the end.
Yes, where they both did. And they actually, I didn't watch it. If you really wanted to do it on a Mel Brooks level, they should have swapped what they said in the beginning and the other one said, and called Velma, Thelma, the opposite of what Jericho and that was a solid fucking fun scene that will go down in wrestle crap history to the end of time. And good job, you guys. I'm impressed.
So fucking good, man. And it's possible Rebel helped with choreography. She used to do dance. Yeah. She danced in music videos. She was the lead in Honky Tonk Badonkadonk. She was the donk in that. And I think she did some other music videos. Yeah. I
just watched the Dallas Cowboy cheerleader show, and I'll tell you what, you want to talk about some Rip Rogers level fucking hardcore training, and what those girls don't fuck around. You're off half a fucking hair, bro, on timing on something, they point it right the fuck out there. So I know Rebels got that discipline when it comes to the dance side and that stuff, because to make it to that level, you can't be no fucking slub and get through it, man. You got to be top of their game.
See, I didn't see this coming like you did. I had no idea what they were going to present with the steak dinner, but I knew I wanted to watch it. So once they got to the dance, I had no idea they were about to bust into song and really sing. And there was a song that was written for them. It was fucking brilliant. It was entertaining. It was ridiculous and entertaining. Not since the build of Kenny Omega and Hangman as that reluctant team when we got the great Hangman build have I seen a relationship in AEW built as well as the Jericho and MJF relationship. It's guaranteed entertainment every week. It's captivating. It has our attention. Right now, they can do no wrong together. Everyone wants to see what the fuck's going to happen with these two. It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
It's just improv one-upsmanship game. They found the game. We can play tons of games. And inside of that game is the Stonewall Sammy game. Sammy bitches, Jericho shuts them down now. So there's games within that. Once we find those patterns and play them out, then we just heighten and explore the stakes. And so far we've heightened and explored that for the last 6 weeks. And that has brought us to a high level musical scene of comedy ridiculousness that fits in a show because it pays off respect to what your audience has been conditioned to.
Mm-hmm. So good, man. So good. And then that was followed by a match that I thought was really, really good, or at least the performance of one was. We had Britt Baker versus Killing King, a Florida girl.
Yeah.
I thought Britt had an all-star performance. This was the best she's looked technically. Her character work is through the fucking roof. She's a star. This time she was ready. She had the pink glove that she put on to match her gear and stuck in that hole.
I think going over and getting it though is kind of it takes away from the rhythm of the match. I agree with everything you're saying right now. She nailed it on her comeback. Baddest bitch on the block. I love to see that build till we get to Serena, who's really the baddest bitch on the block when it comes to wrestling, but not in attitude. In attitude, she is Britt Baker is that. So we're going to have those collisions somewhere down the road, and it's going to be awesome. So I hope they build the attitude one and the wrestling one at the same time. When we cross that, oof, it's going to be great. But going over to get the glove takes away from the rhythm. We need not a Mr. Sacco pull it out of her crotch, but something along those lines where she can just have it on her and get the gimmick on and then go for it, because it takes a little too long to go get it from Reba right now.
I think due to the fact that it was against an underneath talent and they had a record as 0-11, I don't think it matters. Maybe in the future it would.
I agree.
I don't think they should show stuff like that, by the way, 0-11. They should just maybe leave it blank.
Dude, wins matter. You don't know that? That's something that we need to discuss in a meeting. Put that down for the statistics meeting. We're gonna get rid of that too.
Next, we had so for a while now, Hamin has said, I think Darby should get with Tony Hawk, and when the game launched, Hamin was saying this is the perfect time to do it. We brought this up again last week, and to that point, I said, you know what, or even better, let's have him get with Jackass. Let's have him get Steve-O and Knoxville and Pontius if he's still around. They could do great business. Lo and behold, we got a Jackass segment complete with I'm Darby Allin, and this is the whatever you call it.
Yeah,
it was Jackass on AEW.
Vert ramp rolling, dude, and believe me, that sucked. Aside from being a song and dance band, I was a skate punk too for like 7 years.
Oh.
Yeah, I skated a lot, man, till I really hit puberty and got big, and I was snapping boards like every other week. I was like, "Fuck this, it's too expensive." And my ankles were shot. So I love like skating ramp back in the day, and that's a serious vert ramp, dude. And if you ever slammed on a ramp before, it sucks. I can only imagine being in a body bag, waiting to fucking just take it and fucking try and zip yourself in and get in there. So it was a great little cameo from Steve-O. I hope we get a residual check next week.
And what is brilliant about that is it now gives explanation to why Darby's doing the things that he does.
Sure.
When he throws himself off of whatever, jumps off the bridge, now it makes sense because it's like Jackass. So I thought it was cool.
I think so too. And an opportunity to bring dudes in and cross over once again. I think there is a new Jackass thing coming, so maybe they'll use that as a promotional vehicle. Be smart too.
Yeah,
absolutely smart too.
No, it's main event time in the Garden, right?
FTR versus the Bucks versus Butcher and Blade. Now with Allie back at it. I mean,
that was a bit of a pivot.
And then in Lucha House Party and House Party with Dark Order.
Private Party, Silver and Reynolds of the Dark Order, the Young Bucks.
And FTR commentary.
Yeah, there was one other team, Butcher and Blade.
Well, Butcher and Blade, here we are, split off the Nightmare Sisters again. Why? Why did they do it? Really, with Butcher and Blade, they went, 0-16 before we got a win on TV? These should be the guys who are your down-home properties that you elevate by bringing in WWE guys for them to go over on. And now they're made from indie dudes because the audience has seen them beat WWE guys. We haven't gotten that at all. And they were just starting to get back over again. And then they take away Bunny, put her with Brandy for this failed, whatever it was, women's tournament, tag tournament that nobody saw, cared about. And then once that's done, what are we going to do? I don't know. Why did they split her off? Does somebody want to split them up, have eyes on her? I just don't get that business. What I come to, and I've said this on 2 other shows this week, we spent a whole year on a team that has money written all over them, and we got nowhere with them. They're back to square one this week, putting her back with them. And, dude, Pepper is a star. The other guy is a legit rock star already, and she is as easy on the eyes as anybody in wrestling, dude. So what are we doing going forward? I'll tell you my idea afterwards, but, again, we have this match that ends up unsafe, somebody knocked out. there really doesn't matter about the match at all because the business comes at the end with the Young Bucks and the Revival. Before I get into it, go ahead. So.
Yeah, I'm not sure why they pivoted again with the bunny. They mentioned something on air about QT Marshall being upset by her turning on him and going back with these guys and it being some kind of ruse. I'm assuming they did this on Dark, which I don't watch regularly, so I would have liked to have seen a video to tell us at least what happened.
Exactly.
The match, I liked the Young Bucks performance in this. I'd like to see the Bucks in more main event matches. I don't think they main event TV too often, and I would like to see that. Their timing is on as expert a level as the Revival, but with different styles.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Private Party looked good in this one. Butcher and Blade held their own. I thought all the teams did a pretty good job of making each other look good. And then we had the unfortunate injury, which I know you want to talk about.
I mean, just it's tough for me to say Private Party looked good when they knocked the guy out in the ring. It's tough for me to say Silvio, Adam Cole, and fucking or O'Reilly and Baylor were fucking awesome when he broke his jaw in 2 places. That's not awesome to me. If you break my jaw in 2 places, then we go to the back, I'm not going to go, fucking awesome match, bro. I'm going to go get the car. We got to go to the fucking hospital, you fucking asshole.
Do you remember the spot? I don't have it in my notes. Do you remember the spot?
Yeah, they did hit it with a double snabits off the top rope, ran back, fucking jump up again, hit him with a fucking splash and a leg drop right across the fucking head, bro. Just out completely. And he lays there like fucking crash test dummy, and the ref don't even come over and check on him. Huge heat on the ref. Huge heat as soon as he gets to the fucking back. I'm like, what are you doing? Your first job out there is to fucking make sure these guys are okay. And this guy laid there like he'll be paralyzed. No X's going up. No nothing. No nothing, bud. No paycheck this week, bud. Have a good day. I got 50 refs I can fucking replace all this whole. To be honest with you, I'd replace that whole ref corps. I can name 5 refs right now I know from the indies that are far superior in every way than to the refs I've seen at AEW. If there's one thing that really needs to go first, that'd be it. And that's proof positive right there. Then we get the finish and Bucks look good, but an FTR comes down and we get this business. But I'm going to myself, who the fuck is the heels here? We just did all this work with, not all this work, but like a quick fucking heat work with the Bucks being assholes, kicking Shivani, doing what they want to do. And now FTR is going to come down and be the ass whippers. And they're the heels. We're the bigger dicks. Well, guess what? I don't care about either of you because I want to see both you guys get your ass whipped by a team that I like, and they're not in the picture. So if you guys go fuck each other up, I don't really care. I don't have any stakes. We've got heel here, and there's no heat really between them except for the internet FTR versus the Bucks. And we've gone so far away from that when it was cool and turned it into a crappy storyline that it doesn't mean anything anymore. So all that work they did to put heat on the Bucks, they needed to make the Revival the babies here, and this was their chance to do something babyface. Instead, they want to fucking outshine, and I'm still the best, and I'm all heel shit. Okay, we missed it again. FTR, WTF is what I wrote.
I like the finish of this match because it was a callback to the first one of how Private Party slipped over on the Bucks. I just love in wrestling when we do callbacks like that, much like you in comedy and theater.
Sure.
I like seeing that. When that happened, I was asking myself, am I ready for the Young Bucks and FTR because the Bucks have been acting heel? So I was kind of taken by surprise. I expected the Bucks to lose that match, but then they won. And then we saw FTR come in and they Pillmanized Matt Jackson with the chair, and Tully came out in like a hat and a net gator and then revealed it to be himself. So that got me questioning, okay, maybe the match isn't going to happen yet. This is giving the Bucks a way out. I like the idea of them continuing to string this along. But when they do this match, whether it be next week or 3 months down the line, there needs to be a clear-cut babyface.
I agree. No heel finish on the match either to make the Bucks more heel. Slip, reverse, rip back, boom, 1, 2, 3, out wrestled you. Not a heel finish, bro.
Maybe they're pivoting and they're going to do babyface with the Bucks and stuff.
But they did in the mat at the end of the thing. So we missed the business. Tully Blanchard is in the fucking business and we missed it. And it just leaves me scratching my head, bro. I just don't understand. I don't understand how that can happen. Every match on this show had the wrong fucking psychology, except for Britt Baker's match. Britt Baker wants you to tune in and watch. Good for you, honey. I might have ripped it last week. This week, I was glad I watched your match because every other single match on this show had the wrong psychology. But this show had the best entertainment, bar none, in AEW history, with Moxley's promos, Kingston's promos, the look back, the Darby Allin, and the musical bit. Hands down, the best entertainment show we've seen from AEW.
And look, you have some issues with the psychology, and we debate things all the time on it. But watching a wrestling show in 2020 for 2 hours, I think AEW does it as good, if not better, than anyone. They put all this modern shit in that people like. They mix in the comedy. They mix in the drama with Cody. Despite maybe some of the technicalities, like some of the technique and psychology and things like that we agree and disagree on at times. I just think it's an entertaining show, and last night they really stepped up that entertainment level, and just gave us a fun show with a lot of cool shit happening. And
entertainment, when they step that level up, has shown in the model to take them over 1 million viewers. Wrestling upon wrestling and overdoing things has shown to drive viewership back down to the 700,000. So maybe they actually applied that model a little bit this week and focused more on the entertainment, and it'll get up there. And like I said, it's a wrestler show here. And I get hot about psychology just because if we would have switched some of them around, this could have been the best episode of AEW in history. But we missed every time up the bat when it came to the wrestling, in my opinion. And we can go back and forth what's right, wrong, or the other, but there was a lot where it was just like, I don't even know how they can make that choice with the minds that they got around over there. So I look forward to see what's coming next, though, you guys, based off of, for the pay-per-view. One thing I did want to put over, because I am a mega producer, and I did write that down during the show. Whoever does all those graphics, and I think it might be the old Impact guy from when Jimmy and I were there from the UK, does the graphics with the fucking gears on the face. Bravo. Fucking phenomenal graphics work, dude. Like eye-catchingly, like, wow, that's the steampunk crossover. Very, very cool shit. So production people don't get shouted out nearly enough. That's fucking really, really nice looking stuff, dude. I wish I was my design level was at that. So good job. Sil, I hate to cut it short here, buddy, but I gotta go 30 minutes drive to my clients. I told him to be there at 3:30, so I got changed into a suit in 4 minutes.
Let's roll. Great show today.
Yeah.
Hit me up on Facebook. I got a couple of openings coming up for online and some of my Florida classes live. For out-of-state wrestlers, we are offering a week-long camp where you can wrestle up to 4 days in 1 week. So if you're interested in that, send me a message on Messenger or see Silvio bookings at yahoo.com.
Awesome, man. Definitely looking good in his A shirt. Feeling bright. He's definitely got the beard dialed in. Nobody's rocking that style. I really like that. Real slick, man. Driving everybody crazy. Ladies, babies, whoever it is. Omegas. We're the men here on the AEW Dynamite Review. Go to the ProWrestlingTees.com/Chris Silvio. I saw some of those new sexy Silvio shirts saved our show earlier this week, so I didn't have to look at Matt Schaffer's face. I could just look directly at your shirt, buddy, and it was a lot easier on me. So thank you there. Great buys at thebrosters.com. Russo Bro 5-pound bag is out before the pandemic part 3 hits. So stock up now, you guys. And Zordos olive oil, we've seen some sales there as well before holidays. Make your favorite dishes using Zordos olive oil. Your family's going to go, why does this taste even better this year than it did last year? Well, it's ultra premium olive oil from Zordos olive oil, you guys. And they're proud sponsors of Hamin Media Group, as well as StevieRichardsFitness.com. So after you put down the coffee and your favorite meal, you can get your fat ass off the couch and get back in shape, because this guy's going to be wearing A shirts all the time, because that's what he does. He's El Sexico, Chris Silvio, and me. It's song and dance all day long, tap dancing my way to oblivion. Infidel Rogers and Hammerstein here on your AEW Dynamite Light the Fuse review. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.